Okay, so this is the part 2 of the phone collection. I had to power off my Siemens A70. And I'm gonna do this right now in front of you. So yeah. There we go. Now, I'm gonna showcase my Samsung GD1200i, which is charging. It turns on, everything is working fine. And now I'm gonna turn on my LG GB102 number 1 and the LG GB102 number 3. First is gonna be number 1. And you can see it lights up. I fixed the charging port on this one. I glued it up because I don't have soldering machine. Actually, my father has a soldering machine, but I haven't learned to solder yet. So yeah, and it works somehow. Everything is working fine with it, except I told you what problems it has last year. Here is the GB102 number 3. Turns on. Except this one doesn't have original battery. The other two have original LG batteries. This one uses a Nokia battery. And yeah, as you can see, it turns on, and now I turn it off. So yeah. Let's now start with the smartphone devices real quick. Here is my Octo Pixie 4 from 2016. Originally, I got this one in September 2017. It runs Android 6.01 Marshmallow. And yeah, still is going up good to this day. And also the case is going to fall apart on this one. Originally the case was not looking like this, so yeah. Here is my Nokia G21 with the buddy and the broken Android 13 system. Sometimes it loops, sometimes it doesn't load the Android, sometimes it loads it. I don't know what's going on. I use this phone for most of the stuff, but I'm not using it anymore. The phone with which I'm recording the videos right now is the Samsung Galaxy S10e with the BAT AMOLED display. Here is my TCL 40SE, which I bought in April 2024 as a replacement of the Nokia G21. But it turned out I'm going to be using it for phone collection. So yeah. It runs TCL UI 5 with Android 13. And it has 8GB of RAM and 256GB of internal storage. Here is the Nokia 5 number 1. It doesn't turn on. I got this one about 1 or 2 weeks before this one. It has a good working display and also cracked touchscreen, half working. And yeah, it doesn't turn on anymore. This is the second one. By the way, they all run with the 2GB of RAM and 60GB of internal storage with both Android 9 Pie. So yeah. Also, I'm gonna turn off these ones real quick. Just to not waste time. And I'm gonna power on the rest. I'm gonna power off this one. By the way, it also falls apart here. The case is also falling apart for whatever reason. This is the Sony Xperia Tipo from 2012, dual SIM model. Runs Android 404, Ice Cream Sandwich. It has 512 megabytes of RAM and 2GB of internal storage. So yeah. Here is my Samsung Galaxy S9. This one is with pink color. It runs One UI 2.5, Android 10, and it has 4GB and 4GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. It's locked on T-Mobile North Macedonia. So yeah, it works fine. Here is my iPhone XS or iPhone XS. I forgot to power it off. And yeah. I have to power it on again. Wait a second. This one runs iOS 18.3.1. It has 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. And now I'm going to turn it on. My hand is shaking because it's very hot. I've taken videos with one hand. You know that? So yeah. And here is the last one. It's not particularly mine. This is the Honor 8X. It was given by my friend. It's now completely useless because the SIM and the SD slot, there's no even slot anymore, so you can use SIM cards or SD cards. It has broken screen, and also it doesn't have any cameras, but the phone turns on anyway. And I'm gonna prove this right now. I'm gonna plug it in the charger. And there we go. It lights up. So yeah. Here is my Top M7, the Lenovo Top M7. And you can see it works fine. This is the Wi-Fi edition. Originally I have another M7, but it has dead battery. Also, this one is also going to have a dead battery soon. So yeah. This one has Android 9 Go edition. It has 1 GB of RAM and 60 GB of internal storage. The other one has 2 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage. And while this one runs Android 9 Go edition, the other one runs Android 9. So yeah. Here is the Daiwa T7K Plus SE3. I got this one in December, I think November, December 2023. This is my own tablet. My second tablet here. It runs Android 11 Go edition with 2 GB of RAM and 60 GB of internal storage. And I'm gonna reboot it right now, as you can see. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna turn off the rest. As you can see, and there you go. And that's my conclusion with all the phone collection as of July 2025. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.